look lovely tonight, and you take her out and you pay for it. Sometimes you make really elaborate excuses when you don't. You say all the right stuff, and then you get married. And you're like, get in the car. Credit card?
Amen.
On date night, he does open the door for me, except for when he forgets. Yeah, it really is. On date night, he opens the door for me.
On date night.
It's true. We're never together the rest of the week, so I can't open doors for him. We have 2 cars. Go to church in 2 cars. But there is a pursuing that must continue after marriage. Okay? By both parties, although I think it's very interesting that it specifies the man, because we have the hardest time about it. In your relationships, don't raise your hand, women. Who is it that does the work on trying to build the relationship and keep it going? Yeah, not us guys, a lot of times. I think that's kind of why God specified that, because he knew it was going to be a challenge for us. It's about leaving everything else. When we got married, a couple months after we got married, we went on a road trip. Road trips are good for marriage, by the way. We went on a road trip. We did some ministry up in Canada and came down. This is when we broke down and ended up moving here, for those of you who've heard that long story. So we broke down and we stayed at Gem State Academy, and one of my really good friends was there, and we were staying in the dorm. She was actually one of the groomsmen in our wedding. Yeah, it was kind of fun. But we had been friends for 5-7 years, or quite a while. And we were really good friends. We talked a lot. We shared a lot of life. We used to joke that we couldn't not be friends because we had too much dirt on each other to not be friends. We could ruin each other's lives. And she had met Shell, but Shell and her hadn't had enough time.
She met me at the wedding.
Yeah.
With the other girls that were part of what I call Brian's harem. There was like 4 girls, at least. We'll just call it 4.
I don't remember.
Including the photographer for our wedding. Good answer. Including the photographer for our wedding, who apparently was married but still had a thing for Brian. So if you want to look at our wedding pictures, it's a great of Brian and his family. There's not one of he and I together. That's okay. We have Photoshop. It's okay.
Could say so much. I just filter. Anyway, so we show up and we're there, and I remember it was like the first or second night we were there. Shell and I went back to the room. We were staying in the guest room, and I knew that things were a little bit weird because this friend and I had had such a history. Now I was married. The relationship had changed, and I was like, I need to go talk to her. And it was funny because Shell and I sat down to go over this talk today. She didn't remember this story at all, but for me it was a very pivotal moment, and I remember it very clearly. And Shell said, no, you're not going and talking to her alone. The relationship has changed. You're married now. She got the cleaving thing more than I did. I had to cut the relationship ties because they had changed. It was now about my wife and I first, and all other relationships second. That's the foundation of healthy sexuality.